This is my reference. I have this complete already, and so I'm good picture model for you. I have the tie that you need ready to go, and these things right here, suspenders, not a tie. Don't worry about those. That's not for you. But we need to get you tied up.
Yeah,
Let's tie
I
up
definitely
the tie
don't have.
up.
I don't really have a suit or a tie.
Right.
So this is like a suit jacket that it's hard to describe how badly this fits me. It's very tight and uncomfortable, and it's like it hurts a little bit in certain areas.
Right.
But that's okay because it's for the stream. And then this is Marvin the Martian.
Damn, dude, Marvin the Martian doesn't fuck around. We all know that he's ruthless in the boardroom business meeting, so I think that's good. So the first thing you're going to do is, so to tie it, you have to go underneath.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to go underneath first.
Yeah.
No, because you're doing underneath to. So actually, sorry, you need to push through.
Yeah.
Push through. It's push through, and then you go underneath.
So is that right?
No, push through.
What does push through mean?
You got to push through to get through. What do you mean? You
Wait,
Z
so
to
I'm
boost.
thinking, which hand am I moving where?
Oh God! And your camera's flipped, but it's also flipped in OBS, I think. So I don't even. Okay, so you take.
This is my right hand. That's my right hand.
Okay, yeah. So flip them.
Like that. Like this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that was no. That was good. Okay, so now take your right hand and keep fucking cranking it around, and then nope, a little bit too far.
Okay.
So keep it. Yeah, and then you need to pull towards that chin. Yeah. Oh, you see that little loop you made?
Chin to chin.
Yeah. Okay, and now, all right. You have to trust me. Trust fall. Left hand.
Yeah.
Let go. Oh fuck. Okay. Anyways, so now take that left hand and grab the loop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now take that right hand, bring it back to the chin. Right hand, chin.
Okay.
Yeah. Down. Just shove it down it with the brown, and pull. Yep. Take that left hand. Let go.
Wait. What do I do with my feet?
Tap the right one, but leave the left one alone.
Okay. What am I doing now?
Drop with the left hand. Drop, and drop with the right. We're good.
All right.
You're ready to do business.
It's business time.
See?
All right, let's do it.
I don't know what type of knot that is, but that's cool in New Age.
It's called a Windsor knot.
Windsire? Well, before we get into businesses, so I think we should go review the deck list of the week first, which...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. I completely forgot about this.
This was, oh, wow.
Do people know to join the meeting? Because I don't know if we sent the notification out.
Oh, no. Do you have that handy?
Yeah, let me go ahead and
I don't got any
off.
of that. Yeah, I don't have any of that shit.
Orbital's been trying to get your ATTN on a topic and still.
So I haven't looked at anything in 500 years. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
What's it called? Spirit of Roseville.
Yeah.
Business.
Damn, are we gonna if we don't meet quorum, we have to
review.
We're gonna have to postpone this, but
no, it is mandatory to join. Boy, I did not know how to spell mandatory. Mandatory. I got it.
What up?
We got there.
Cool. What up, Poto? See, Poto, the most responsible person here first. New Roseville packs. Well, we'll discuss how far we're gonna go. It is Roseville time. We have a couple of things that we need to talk through as a business unit to create alignment so that we can get that kind of cross.
Well, you know what I've been saying is we need to get in sync.
Right.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, in sync and synergized. Is that the correct order? Alliteration, in sync and synergized?
I need to go check with the PR to see what they settled on.
Jesus fuck. You talk to marketing. You don't talk to PR. PR is just the rule keeper of marketing. Marketing's got big ideas and flashy advertisements. PR, bunch of rules lawyers, but for marketing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You tracking? So, we released. Well, Damon Stone released the fastest gun in Roseville deck, which just swept the masses, and people were not really ready for it. Clearly, as the three comments have fully concluded, no one has any idea what's going on.
I keep looking at this trying to understand how it. What does this person say?
Which one? Sebastian?
The middle one. Sebastian.
I keep looking at this deck trying to understand how it works, but I still have no idea. Are you JPEGing me? You prefer to get into right? That's exactly true.
It's very simple.
So the thing is it's very simple. Because a famous goal that we have implemented here is to not play Netrunner. I'll get okay. So in terms of making sure that you can play Netrunner to get out of dodge very quickly. This deck optimizes for speed and not allowing your opponent to react. So first off, you have 4 agendas. So even if somehow, which is still likely, you're giving the runner a turn, it is unlikely that they'll win. Because there's only 4 agendas out of the 30 cards. Roseville 3, Ice is not nice. Okay, rhyme scheme, that's pretty good. We'll have to market that with marketing a little bit. But so a couple of cards, Crash Dump allows you to shuffle a bunch of loans from Jack Harvest so you can lose right away as a backup if they try to run it, and or you can install all of your Spin Doctors and try to deck yourself as quickly as possible. Accelerated Diagnostics, there's 18 operations in this fucker, so you could do it. Localized product line, again, just to get power shutdowns or Spin Doctor or whatever. You want consistent, you want to go fast. Pass Priority is actually an emergency card. If you're unable to deck yourself, you pass Priority in the hope that you can... Am I cosplaying as Larry King? I could? How would I do that? Oh, God. Oh, shit, his voice is so weird. It's like I don't know how to do it, but that's a good point. I'm trying. So pass priority, non-clear linear line, but you're able to give yourself a second chance to deck yourself on the runner's turn, because if they play or install something. Then you can oh, sorry, that's the narrator. I'm an idiot. What does pass priority do again? It's just so that you can install Spin Doctors and draw stuff and then force the runner to have 2 less clicks so that it comes back to you, and then you say, fuck you, I'm going to deck myself on my turn too. That's what it is. You got to get some height on the shoulders like this? Oh, okay, I got you. This is going to be really comfortable.
I could use more padding in these shoulders, honestly. Like, it's a little bit, but I could use a lot more.
Damn, I really need to get a voice changer so I could do Larry King next time.
You are figure out how to do Larry King.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too weird. It's too low, but not. Anyways, so power shutdown, you kill yourself immediately. Red level clearance, hopefully draw 2, get a click back, install some Spin Doctor or a loan from Jack Harvest, don't pay it back. And then the narrator is what allows you to lose on the runner's turn of hopefully what you're trying to do is like draw, narrator, discard down, get as many accelerated diagnostics and or power shutdowns, and then you can kill yourself on their turn so then they don't have any opportunity to actually win the game. It took a lot of testing. It took a lot of finesse. It was definitely, pretty difficult to get to, but, that's the deal. Other than that, there's no analysis needed, and people clearly didn't get it, so great. That's what's phenomenal. If you want to review Roseville Draft, you can view it on Netrunner DB. Everything is up to snuff, and you
Why does it have so few likes?
I don't know. People just don't get it. They just don't like it. They
It's straightforward stuff. It's like it's just good cards,
Yeah. Oh, we didn't include an image. There's no meme image like by our own rating standards. That's a pretty low bar. All this kind of fun stuff. But what I'll say is what am I thinking of? Oh, Plural. Plural on the Netrunner scene intranet. He made this all happen, and then he had the idea right on time that the set icon is a skateboard.
It's beautiful.
Which that has got to be that was all Plural. So shout outs to Plural, stream viewer of the stream, instantly added to the clan.
The tie came undone.
The creme fraiche knot came undone.
Yeah, I thought it was laser tight, but no, it came undone. I'm just gonna do one of these, just get it in there like that, and I think we're set. I think that's pretty solid.
You got to curve everything. I just found out that Larry King died last year. Wait, did he?
Yeah, he died.
Wow. Brian, do you know how...
Ranji, you should have been here immediately. So we were on time with the stream, for the most part. And everyone should be within the stream. You need to be in the stream and accounted for. So you have to say here within 30 seconds. And then you would have seen Andrew instructed me how to tie the tie.
And I got him there, but I don't know what happened after, is what I can say. I realized I forgot I did this edit to Hot Tub Grid where there's only one in the real photo, but I just copy pasted 3 in the mirror image. In the background. Like, it's supposed to be a mirror in a hotel room, but then I just copied the same couple 3 times.
Wait, what are you talking about right now?
So look at the card art. Hot Tub Grid.
Sorry.
So there's one couple on side 1, and then on side 2, there's 3 copies of the same one.
So many people.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Which I think gets us probably to like our first thing. Not to get into it too quickly, but I think there's some headmasters here that we can start to make some decisions. But I think it's time. It is time.
Well, do we want to get into the business quarter review presentation I put together?
Oh yes. How do we do this?
I think the best way to do it is I'll just screen share and go through it, and then you can do the presentation as I go. So you'll vote.
Okay, yeah. I think I can make that shit pop on. So go ahead and share your screen on the Hangout, and I'll try and make this bigger.
Hold on, I got a new hacker keyboard, so I'm still figuring it out.
Oh yeah. Okay. One of the latest models.
Mechanical.
Can I? All right, we'll try and do this.
Okay.
We'll do this live. Hold on.
Yeah, we're doing it live, so you should see the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So you take it from here, and I'll move. You just tell me when this change slides.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So here's what we want to do. Brian, you're not going to be you're the assistant in the background on this. So just for this part of
you take lead on this. It's all you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. I have to have my business juice. So we started here. You can't see my mouse cursor on the internet, which is not helpful. So just imagine that I'm pointing to the first step of good. So we'll call this here, Roseville 1. That's where we started. We settled on good. We talked to you, the viewers. We talked to the investors. We talked to the spectators, and we talked to the haters. And the general consensus was, let's settle on good for Roseville 1. Nice, simple, established. Roseville 2. Okay, we have to iterate. We can't betray our values on stream. We have said this for literal years. We have to innovate, iterate, and continue to graduate and procreate.
Can we add evolve into this?
No, it does not. It is not alliteration at all. So please don't interrupt. And go get me a latte, please. Keep it simple. Okay. So Roseville 2, better. Notice better has 2 T's. Right smack dab in the middle. Coincidence? I think not. Third step as to where we're going. Roseville 3, will be the best Roseville set that could be possible. Now, shut up! So the thing that you might be asking is, what does excellence have to do with this? Frankly, excellence is not part of Roseville at all. That is why it is off to the top left. We're trying really to keep excellence away from the stairs. We don't want to fly too close to the sun. What? Okay, what? Oh, you're really dragging it out? Okay, I was going to be upset about that. Get rid of it. No one even knows what that is. Excellence shouldn't even be here. I got to be really careful with that arm because that is going to be edited and not a good thing. So, 2 arms at one time. Don't do one thing at one time because that's really bad stuff. Anyways, we're going up and to the right. We've done good. We've done better. Now it is time to do best. Next slide, please. Okay. I really need my business. So, this might seem like a difficult concept or a difficult problem, but really business is not difficult. It's straightforward. It's up and to the right, as we demonstrated last slide. There's a lot of distractions, fragmentation, disorientation, a lot of tations going on in business. And what we need to do is ignore the fractals, ignore the distractions, and get to the core of our business, which is moving quickly. And that's it. It's really straightforward. Cut all the shit out. Take a shovel and dig yourself out of the shit. We're going to charge a little bit more than $19.99 just because we have a premium product and this is the 3rd tier, so we need to, increase and iterate as it were. Next slide, please. Okay. Again, you're noticing probably a pattern here. Again, this does apply to good, better, best. Old Maid. It's good. It's fine. You've played it. You love it. You get it. It reels you in. You start to do a little bit of card shuffling, but you're not mixing that 3rd, 4th card shuffle. You're not switching hands. You're not bending that bottom right corner so that sleeve makes the extra little, you know what I mean? It's good. Go Fish. It's better, it's efficient, it's cutting the shit, it's faster, it's more aggressive. Old Maid, singular, boring, one-dimensional. Go Fish, speed, nice, tier 2. Animal Rummy, this is Roseville 3. This is the product vision. Excuse me. Animal Rummy is the pinnacle of children's card games. If it was not evident by this slide alone, this is what we are shooting for, and frankly, we're going to shoot past. That's what we're going. Next slide, please. I actually have to scroll back. Poto, you were talking about NSYNC before. Please give us one sentence to summarize your thoughts on this. We'll wait.
Poto's still there.
Are you mic'd up right now? Don't make me go into the meet and fucking put you on mute. I'll do that. I'll open Windows Sound Mixer and disable you. I will steal your voice because I am leadership here. You are the common peon. You are a keyboard hero. You're irrelevant. You run bash scripts that fuck up and take down the service. Poto Boys says, and I quote, "Never seen these men before in my life. I agree." No one has seen them. You know why? Because they're too fucking busy playing Roseville 3 and just dreaming about it, thinking about it, whetting the appetite with the WH. You know what I mean? Next slide, please. Poto, please give your opinion on these men. While you type that opinion out, okay. Tee up, sports reference, tee up. What are the fucking chances, the actual fucking chances, the 3rd message in this stream both mentioned NSYNC and Backstreet Boys And now you, with your corporate machinations, have brought them both into here. What are the chances of that?
We move at the speed of business.
Damn. We predict the future. We know what the consumer wants. We are the consumer and the consumee. All right? That's the same thing. Two different phrases. Poto, what is your consensus? I'm giving you 5 seconds. 4 Mississippi. 3 Mississippi. I'll give some commentary in the meantime while he figures out his quarter results. Here's the big question, JT. Who's that a fucking jersey for? The number 32 with no team and no allegiance and no sport? Where's your corporate fervor? Where's your sense of marketing and labeling? Don't think that that's some cheap knockoff Texans jersey. As much as the colors are approaching that of the Texans jersey, the blue is too dark, the red is too red, the white is correct. And again, Texas, they love themselves, so they're going to have some logos on there. That's not a Texan journey. Poto, you're fucking fired. Get out of the stream. Next slide, please. Brian, I'm going to invite you on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it away. Take it away for this. Just this slide.
I mean, it's part of both our corporate vision and our corporate mission to be decisive and to make judgments, and that and that's gonna carry forward within Roseville 3. There's gonna be a lot of judgments being passed around.
What can you integrate the scale, please?
Yeah, the scale I didn't have time to Photoshop out, so it should not be there.
It should not be there?
No,
so
it's irrelevant.
So what you're saying, because clearly you're not a senior, because you're an associate, because associates point at problems and seniors solve them. Do you hear that? You hear that, internet? Okay, so let me solve this math equation for you. If you thought that the scales were going to be involved, that would imply balance. There will be no balance in Roseville 3. If you thought there was imbalance before, buckle your fucking fuckle seatbelt. Fuckle your buckle your fuckle belt. It's going to be a big problem. No balance. None. In fact, we're going to incentivize cheating and bending the rules. There will be no macros and they will not work. Next slide, please. Oh, fucking finally. All right. I've been waiting for this. Literally waiting for this. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is right here? This? Me neither. It's a watch. And it is made by Swiss people. Very nice, the Swiss. They are good people. The Swiss, I have a lot of respect for the Swiss people. The Swiss people are able to make good deals, and I too make good deals. So, what I would illustrate with the above slide is that there is some type of deal that we wish to illustrate, communicate, and share with folks, and you can see the sharp bend right here. Let me do a little bit of tracing here, and we'll actually use this chart above me. Okay, this should be mostly accurate, I think. Okay, we're here. We go up Roseville 1, lots of confidence, good community buy-in, really good stuff. And then Roseville 2 comes out. Beep, 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 beep. Ah, wait. We finish Roseville 2. People are excited. There's a little short peak. They go, finally, these stupid fuckers are done with Roseville 2. Now they're going to spend the next month doing art. Oh, but what happened during that time? I spent the entire time making art for Roseville 2, watching The Americans, a mediocre show in which I could have spent more time watching a better show. That went down. But now, we're done. We're done with Roseville 1 and 2. So it's straight up and to the right, baby. I'm not watching anything during that show, during that art session, and that's really what we need to be doing here. This is FAQ break. Do not advance to the next slide. Let me catch up. Fuck, that hits right in the nipples. Let me catch up with questions from the audience. I bequeath any voting shares I have to Murphy. I do not and will not accept the shares and or voting rights to Murphy. If you do not vote, you may as well have not have voted. It's like Wolf of Wall Street, except Spagoloni and cheese.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a protected investor. He's got a lot riding on this fucking thing. He wants it to go up and to the right. He doesn't want any responsibility. So that's why he's saying, give it to Brian. Next sentence.
I approve. Approved.
Disapproved. We'll vote. That will be the first voting item of the board meeting. It's like Wolf of Wall Street, except there's no Margot Robbie. Well, there's still an hour and a half of the movie left. Is there room for more investors? It depends. What are you bringing to the table? Next question.
It's money.
I hope it's money and up and to the right. Pump and dump. That seems liable. Snap those suspenders. Don't tell me what to do. And I don't know who that is, which I feel really disappointed about. But if you could give me a frame of reference, please educate us in the channel. Next slide. This is easy. Okay, so I can actually demonstrate why this is good. Okay, so here on the bad side, I don't have this because look at that photo right there, right? Where's that end going? It's going actually into the jacket. Childish. Don't do that. You need to have nice and tight so you can hide your baggie of cocaine right over here. You know what I mean? If it's loose, that's exactly where they're going to look. You want it nice and tight. Powdered sugar. Sorry. Garden seeds.
For legal reasons, it's powdered sugar.
It's for powdered sugar. Number 2. Bad? Wool? A wool jacket? What is this, 1945? We didn't just exit World War II. We have nylon. We have linen. We have machined cotton. We have the Chicago pinstripe. Who the fuck would wear a wool suit jacket? Number 3. That tie? What? Look at the ratio of that canot. That canot is huge. Super wide. But at the top. No one wants that. Look at this. This? Thin. What is this? A sack of potatoes that they've tied like a tie? Unacceptable. And then for the goods. Number 1. And I will give credit where credit is due. Intern Brian, you said that lines and angles are good. Look at how sharp this is. Ooh, razor's edge. Like our card design. That's good. This, nothing in the breast pocket, exactly as it should be. If you're putting a handkerchief there, or a flower there, or some type of card,
no, you gotta be aerodynamic.
You shouldn't be doing that. You need to be lightweight. You need weight reduction. Number 3, no tie, button undone. That's business casual. And you know what? I fucked up here. I fucked up. And I'm going to own up to it because this is what good business leaders do. They own up when they have fucked up. And I should have gone mono suspender, but instead I tried to be cocky, and I did the tie and suspender, and that is for fucking children. I should not have done that. And then, obviously, gray with the white striations, that is the modern version of the Chicago pinstripe, an excellent suit choice. Hit me with the next slide, please.
This is the last one.
Computers. It's simple. Razer Technologies failed as a hardware company because they didn't iterate. They kept making the same mouse with less buttons. They kept removing macro keys. They did not integrate World of Warcraft and Panda Express, sponsor to the World of Warcraft expansion, Miss of Pandaria, into their keyboard. They said, no, we will not do that. We will simply make a keyboard for the people and not try and tie it to both World of Warcraft, a Blizzard Enterprise product, co-owned with Panda Express. They said, no, we will not do this. We will not support these business practices and mergers. We will stick to hardware. And that's why that company has failed. And that's exactly the space that we're going to operate into, which gets us to the title and theme of Roseville 3. Are you ready, Brian? Should I bring you back for this?
Yeah, but I have one quick question.
Yeah,
Are you
please.
suggesting that Razer failed because they didn't have a button on their keyboard to summon Panda Express?
Solely. That is
Okay.
that is the entire problem with their business strategy, is what I would say.
Just checking.
Yeah. But I think we were aligned on that as a business unit. And if we weren't, please ask your, there's an FAQ after the presentation. Please ask away in the channel. That's fine. I will give 10 to 15 seconds and a couple of nip slaps for questions from the viewers before we get into the big reveal. Ah, man, this... All right, we're done.
Bushi says, I have a large amount of investors coming to an exclusive event.
Oh, wait. Did we get a link? Did we get a JPEG? We did.
It's an opportunity you cannot ignore. It's an opportunity we can ignore.
We could think about ignoring it. Whoa, look at this hunk. Yo.
Is this the link? The
Yeah.
link doesn't work.
Whoa. No, I got it. It worked. HTTPS.
Oh, okay.
Wow. This guy's fucking cool. And he has a briefcase. I have a briefcase.
Oh, I like that. I like that style for sure. The short sleeves with the muscles.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I got it. See, I'm a business person. I'm a man of leisure. I'm a man of leisure and business.
Michael asked, when will we turn a profit? Michael, here's where I think you're not ready for what we're about to deliver with Roseville 3, because you're still thinking in terms of profit and loss. We're thinking beyond that. That's a cool ass briefcase you got.
Yeah, I know. It's an original Samsonite. It's actually a fucking lit briefcase. I don't need to show
plurals.
off, but...
Plurals often to synergize OKRs. I am very interested in that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to. We'll review that. We'll have our legal team review that.
We should take another crack at our OKRs at some point.
Yeah, we'll commit to 2 OKRs. Two objectives and no key results.
Is it possible for me to buy a controlling stake in Roseville 3? Absolutely not.
I would like to deviate from that business plan and say absolutely. That's it.
Anybody except Cranked.
I would say only Cranked.
I think that's a bad business plan.
You don't even have a business plan.
We just went over the business plan. I prepared that presentation. It took me like
no.
talking.
No. Okay, see, I'm the face of the company. I get results. Okay, you're in the back.
You may be the CEO, but I'm the president, and the president supersedes the CEO in this organization.
Yeah, well, we all know how the last president went, so buckle that fuckle your buckle. Damn, that's gonna be the catchphrase of Roseville 3 is fuckle that buckle.
I really thought that for this next business quarter, our catchphrase could be "We move at the speed of business." Because that means we move fast.
Okay, you got me with that one, intern. That was pretty good. Well, let me copy this. What is this?
Got a first.
Whoa! First time chatter alert. Woo! What happened? What did they say?
That's some neat damage, but it's first time chatter, but someone who's clearly like in the know.
In the JPEG, as it were. See this watch?
Gustavo,
you see this fucking watch?
I don't
this
know
watch was in space.
Business, to be honest, if I'm just being honest with you, Gustavo, you maybe move at the speed of like government bureaucracy.
Ooh, that's good enough for government.
And that's not an insult. That's just my
facts. That's just, oh wow. Oh, okay. Opinion. See this watch? I got it by crying. My car, crying. My beautiful wife, also crying. Perfect teeth, crying. Hey, you, get the fuck out. Roseville 3's official title. I'm happy to announce. I'm going to type it in all caps to make it official.
Do it.
Roseville Wait, sorry, I'm in caps lock, so I have to not hold the shift key.
That would have been a huge fuck up.
Colon Dungeons and Deadlines. Roseville 3, Dungeons and Deadlines. This is the fucking theme for Roseville 3. Have you thought about cool dungeon stuff? Have you thought about deadlines, business discussions, bones, bugs, creepy cave moss, a brick hammer plus 15 in which I beat the final boss of Elden Ring with? Anyways, the whole point of this story is Roseville 3 Dungeons and Dragons. Brian, give us your first impression on hearing this breaking news.
My first impression is that Rick had CT Center as a comment after that.
Damn!
Which is just super great.
There's some stuff there.
Yeah, Dungeons and Deadlines. We're going into it. We're combining two of my favorite passions, which is dungeons and business.
Business.
Yeah, so we're gonna go even further into the business angle than we have before.
Yeah, I think you know, if I could break it down to two things, it's really this, like chart.
Maybe three.
Okay, chart emoji. This one. Anytime that I'm trying to be sarcastic at work, I use this. That's my code word.
Wait, where are you typing this? What are you talking about?
Right here. You see on the computer screen?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Chart emoji. There's this, and then skull emoji, spooky.
Yep,
lots
dungeons.
of bones. There's all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, a big chunk of the cards in Roseville 3 are going to be related to bones. I know it's going to be uncomfortable for some, but that's just how it has to be. Artistically, we feel that's important.
And we really, from an alliteration perspective, you know, we worked it out with the marketing team. B is the letter that we're going for.
B is going to be big in 2023.
It's
so
going to
we're
be
preparing for that business quarter 2023.
You know, bones, bugs, bees, business, bottom line, a lot of B's. So if you do not present or lead with the B, you're gonna be in trouble. Hey, business going at the speed of business. Anyways, so Nisei, we use emojis for code names for upcoming sets. I should have used bullet for the last one. Just so that you could rip some fucking sick cards from us. Are bones a runner or corp thing? Brian, take it away. Take it away on bones.
I feel like, okay, so runners obviously have bones, and because corporations are technically people under the law, they have bones too.
Yeah, and corporations
it's
are
ruled.
people.
Yeah, it's been ruled at the Supreme Court say that corporations have bones.
Yeah, so effectively, lemma, corpse or bones is the long short of it. We have a lot of topics that we'd like to talk about and get opinions on, and I will record them.
Let's go over the agenda, right?
The business program. So there's detail sections. Don't worry about this. This is for us management types that actually know how to organize things. So don't worry about any of this. And do I recognize that you can't read this font? Yes. Am I going to do anything about it?
You have pretty little brain about it.
Also, yes. Yes. Is the zoom percentage 320 on Notepad EXE because my screen has too many pixels? Also, yes. Okay. So here's point number one. I have a whole dictionary that I've been thinking about. So let's start with. Which question number one? Okay, corp themes and identities. So obviously, just because of industry standards and trying to be best in class, we will stick with Wayland, Jinteki, HB, and NBN. We will keep those, but we want to put a flavor on some of those, and I'd like to make a business proposal. And let's see how we feel. So with Wayland, I was thinking Wayland is skeletons and suits. Again, alliteration, not a B, but we don't want to blow the load on the alliteration. You know what I mean? So how do we feel about Wayland, skeletons, and suits? How does that sound?
It makes sense to me. Suits is very straightforward. It's definitely in Wayland's color pie already. Mm-hmm. Bones, it makes sense because Scorched Earth turns people into valuable bones.
Do other people have irrelevant or relevant commentary? Remote servers being rebanded as legacy dungeons. We will actually address that exact phrasing in about
there's something really
points.
Interesting about that idea. You know how Netrunner is often criticized for having you make a run, it's clicks, it's like remote. There's all this terminology. What if we just develop our whole side terminology for all of these things?
Yes, vernacular. That is definitely the word that comes up.
We don't use any Netrunner terms. We develop our own set of Netrunner terms that are identical to the Netrunner terms.
How many Roseville 3 cards should we develop at Mansion Runner this weekend? Develop, you can prototype, because remember, you're in research and analytics. You're not...
We develop on stream.
Yeah, we engineer on stream. You're research and analytics, so you can research and analytics as many as you would like on Mansion Runner, and we will crush or endorse your dreams on stream. Can there be a new central server? What the fuck? I'm asking about skeletons and suits, and we've gone into central server? Dungeon? We will review that with Spag's comment later in the stream.
Yeah, I think there's something interesting about that, actually.
Can we retcon credits to Bones? Ooh. I will accept that interjection. We'll give it a solid perhaps on that. Actually, I will write that down as a potential idea.
It's definitely. I want to make it clear. That's definitely an idea.
Okay, I'll add that to the idea tab here.
It's definitely an idea. Whether we'll do it or not, we'll see.
Bones. Okay, Wayland has the private military. Yes, so that's a vote for skeletons and suits. Skeleton War is an obvious agenda. I agree. Okay, we've solved Wayland. Let's get to the next one.
Go for
Jinteki. So for the Dungeons and Dragons side of things, I was thinking alchemists and torturers. I think that is Jinteki-like. To bring that to business, HR, and legal. So let me write this right down. As we'll do torturers. I didn't spell that right. I just added use an R until enough until it looks good.
It's not important to me.
HR/legal. How do we feel about this? What are people's thoughts? What are their ideas? What are their feelings?
Okay, calcium is reverse bad pub. We have reverse bad pub. It's called good publicity.
It's called good publicity. Just read. It's literally on Netrunner DB. Have you investigated this? Roseville 2, and I know that what's a good one? I think I know. Hold on. It's the Wayland card. It's one of my favorite in the set. Where is this? It's stand up or stand on. Where is this thing? Stand on. Stand on. It's right here. If you've never read this before, the corp may gain 1 good publicity to be able to do that. John Churros, I like the idea of meeting with HR dealing net damage to the runner. See? You get it. You get it. I can't read. Perfect. Okay, so, Brian, how do you feel about Jinteki, torturers, equal
you said they're alchemists,
HR and legal,
right?
Or alchemist? Yeah, it's both. Those are.
Yeah, I'm just trying to evaluate if anyone else should be legal. Like, I guess Jinteki would be probably PR.
You want so PRHR.
Well, no, I think you have this right. Jinteki could be HR legal, and NBN is probably PR and marketing.
We'll get to that, but I agree. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to. Let's hop into that right now.
Diplomacy checks. I forgot about diplomacy checks. That's a good point.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So NBN originally I had as rogues and ravens. I was trying to get them as the communicators and transporter of secrets in these dungeons, which are rouges and ravens. So then to bring that to business terms. I did this as admins. I want NBN to be the fucking computer dorks, the call center, the offshore insert redacted, that type of deal. But I also like, what was your suggestion right now?
PR and marketing. I feel like they're definitely in marketing.
Oh, yes, admins and marketing.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. How do we feel about admins and marketing? But IT department is an HB. We're getting there. We haven't done this yet. Okay, this is still iterating. Just wait. Iterating. We're getting there. I have it in the Bible. I have the master plan right here.
I'm feeling I guess pretty strong about this. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, they have the little birds they send around, and they have data raven, so like I get where you're going there.
Okay, good. See, you got me. Okay.
Yeah.
HB, we're not iterating. So from a dungeons perspective, I listed it as this. Wizards. Just wizards. But where I think that translates to businesses and computers and technology and science, it's simple. The answer was already in front of us. Robots. Robots and traps.
Oh, maybe automation. Because robots are all about automation, and automation is important in business.
And I think that HB, from like a dungeon perspective, I think that they're the ones that can engineer, when the things shoot out of the wall, or something drops from the ceiling, or
traps,
just poison darts, spikes, big rocks, fists that punch out of the wall and topple you over, plus robots and automation. That's how I feel about HB.
Do you remember the aggro crag?
That's making my brain go.
Someone in this chat remembers the aggro crag, and I just feel like there's an opportunity. I don't really know how, but
one quick moment. Okay, sorry. Rick has a very good point that I want to call out. Interns. So interns is a runner thing. I love where your head is at, but it's not corp. But I feel what you're saying. Effectively, Shaper is going to be interns and pot smokers. Not to actually ruin your day, but that's what that's going to be. So we'll get to that at a different time.
Give Shaper interns.
Yeah, just calm down. But we'll just to ruin it here. God, Rick, you motherfucker! I cannot believe you already knew this. So this is going to be interns and pot smokers. We will get to criminal, and then we're going to get to anarch. Yeah, whatever.
I think we already figured that neutral corp is accounting.
Oh, subtype math. Oh, math. And accounting. It never left the building. Cool. So we have that. Guts, HB. Oh, yeah. Death charts, but also the spinning wheels. That makes sense. Interns eat food. Pot smoking. Who runs the cafeteria in the dungeon? Probably mini faction. But I don't know. I don't know. We haven't got him.
Give it to Adam.
Yeah, give it to Apex. He's got all these fucking arms, so he can serve a bunch of people at the same time. Who gets the engineering department? That is technically NBN, right?
It'd be under their.
But
in the corporation org chart, it'd be under them.
Damn, first time chatter.
Nice, more often. I thought Anarch had wizards. Well, that's why I feel like you don't know how to spell wizard correctly because you're spelling it like wizard.
Yeah, it's Wizard. Just check a little book. Cafeteria, Guy Fieri, only triple D. Apex serves spaghetti every day. Ooh, save that in your own notepad.exe for when we get to Apex days. But yeah, that sounds good. Endless hunger. Yeah, I mean it is really on menu. We'll talk about that concept.
You have been taking minutes for this meeting, haven't you?
You better. You talked first.
Yeah. I mean it's part of our corporate guidelines, and so we will get railed on that if you're not doing that.
Wow, first time chatter. Apex controls zombie hordes of vending machines to feed the workers. Again, that's a great card idea. Not a theme, but that's a great card. Keep going on that. Keep iterating. Keep brain trusting that one. I'll love the idea of Wizard being rebuilt as an AI working for HB. Ooh, we could talk about that. IRS audit, maybe. We'll get into it. But criminal.
As much as I want to fit taxes and all this, I don't know if we could fit it. It might be too much.
I think that the accounting, because like accounting is red tape, and that could be a good. Oh, that's actually a good system. Accounting,
well, that'd be a good name for a card for us to add to the game as red tape.
Well, no, that's a mechanic. Red tape fucks everybody, runners and corps. Yeah, there we go. I'll go ahead. We'll do this. Yeah, save taxes and lawsuits for Roseville 4. We'll set the stage with like legal investigations and HR investigations, and then 4, boom. There we go. Union hires and whistleblowers.
There's so much potential. See, like, people are just throwing out great ideas after
Damn!
And this suit is making me kind of itchy, so I am wondering if there's something wrong with it.
Oh no, my pants are so fucking itchy, and it's just because they made these things forever ago, and they didn't have the anti-itch technology, and/or they had bugs. Union hires and whistleblowers. People in the
olden days, they're just itchy all the time.
I'm not even. I'm. That's a better idea than what I had. So we're done there. I don't think we need to do anything else, but criminal. So criminal, what I was going to try and integrate was white hat and black hat, but I don't know if I feel as good about that, especially with, God, you guys are whistleblowers, really good. How do we think about criminal?
They should definitely have profit as a theme.
Okay. Profit. Like... Is it like is it really just Fisk, like investors?
Oh, maybe they're all. How about they're all like startup CEOs?
Day traders and
crypto bros.
Oh, whoa!
That's idea.
Sorry.
Crim is into crypto. That makes sense.
Crypto, okay. And
Crim feels like mages. There's something interesting there.
Angel investors, thank you, Gustavo. That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah. There we go.
And so they're angels, and they're angel investors, and how about demon investors too?
Yeah. Oh man. Fucking.
It's the opposite of an angel investor.
Demon investor. They invest in opponents just to create competition, which creates good. Oh, that's a great card idea. Actually, so this is a rule. Now that I think about it, damn, that's so tight. Actually,
demon investors.
And then we can include Buffy references, which is always good, and copyright infringing. Very good.
We have special deals about that.
Damn.
Angels and demons.
Oh my God, Jesus! This is why we do this on stream. Oh my.
Iterate.
Oh man, y'all are so smart. Jesus Christ. Oh my.
Demons.
Damn, this is
Damon,
angel demon. What? Okay, that gives us enough. No, this is awesome. I feel really good about this. Obviously, with the corpse, we had more of the D&D stuff. I'll tie this into the dungeon part with Shaper's after, and we'll talk about what that looks like. But this seems pretty fucking good. Dan Brown has to be criminal. Well, we'll see.
I've read so many of those Dan Brown books.
I have as well. Okay, so that was theme that I wanted to nail down. I don't want to get into the big question yet. I'm saving that for a little bit later. And Brian, you know what that is already, but we'll talk.
I don't know that I know what that is, but I'll learn later.
Oh, you do? Okay.
All right.
So, here's a concept, just to kind of explain this a little bit for like the keep category. So, we're obviously going to keep Roseville 1 and 2. And because we are moving to Dungeons and Deadlines, I'm going to, on a probably a 2-week thing, I'm going to remake all of it, just in terms of themes and names, and maybe a couple of like adjustments of like Hole Up as a card where we have to fix it mechanically, and a couple other cards are just fucking garbage. I'm going to move all of Roseville 1 and 2 to Dungeon and Deadline, theme it, and then also fix numbers and all of that kind of fun stuff.
Just to put our foot on the brake for a second here.
Oh, yeah.
I do wonder if we should take a moment to talk about, like, at a high level, what the goal of this set is. Because to me,
which one?
I think, well,
go ahead. Yeah.
I think there's a huge opportunity in the market right now.
Yeah.
For
market
a set that is, like, really fine-tuned for draft.
Mm-hmm.
And is maybe, like, more coherent than what we've built in the past. Just a smidge.
just a little beep beep beep.
So like I think it might make sense to like talk about some logistics around that, specifically how many cards would make for a good set and how many people would be supported in it, and like how long, like some stuff like that. Logistics.
Yeah. Perfect.
Could you add a logistics column to this spreadsheet you have?
Yeah. So here are some of the rough numbers that we were talking about, thinking about, blah, blah, blah. This is for a 10-person draft. I think and we'll technically say 8 to 10, but I think that 10 is like the sweet spot. I feel like every time we've done a 10-person Roseville draft, it's been good in terms of card choices, probably too many, but that's fine to pare back. 10 gives a lot of fresh opponents, and also I think that gives opportunity for, which is one of the things we want to do with the set, is for a lot more drafting mechanics and call it in-between round activities. So one of the things I actually wanted to propose is, and maybe we'll talk about this right now, actually, is a good thing. So you know how in Pokemon you have prize cards from winning in a draft winning a game of Pokemon and all that.
I don't
really
know how that works.
TLDR is if you play a real authentic game of Pokemon, you put cards on the line, and they're prize cards, and if you do certain things or enough damage or some qualifier in the games, you actually win those cards.
And both players put them up, huh?
Yeah. And so I think what we can do is we take that same, and really I guess this is a rule, is we have prize cards for the winner of, like, if you beat your opponent, whatever. Prize cards are awful. Don't worry, I'm going to incentivize it. And I agree prize cards are awful, but I'm going to fix it. You have prize cards for winner from loser. But if you're a loser, if you lost at least one game in the middle, what we're going to have in between rounds for the losers versus the winners is there are going to be stock markets. So with the cards that are not included in the initial draft, there will be or we may play around with it to like jerry rig it to give it like certain categories or increasing power levels, is the losers will then be able to wager credits that they have from the last game and or dollars and or currency and or cards or trading or something. This is just the high level. We'll figure it out. But the losers get to participate in a solid or elevated stock market. Exactly, Spags, exactly. Versus the winners, they just have their cards. They won, so they better have a good deck, otherwise fucking get owned. But that's and we want to keep it really lightweight. Like we want to give people, like, in between rounds you have, call it 5-minute bidding war where there's 10 cards on the table and you have to wager something. It could be tokens, it could be cards in your deck, it could be start the next match with no credits.
I think this is a great idea, and I think there's a lot of details we could work out over time. But what I really like about it is the idea of starting the whole event off with like a lighter draft that is quicker.
Yes.
And a smaller deck size to start, like you start with maybe 25 cards or something. And then as the draft goes on, we introduce more cards into the stock market, and that's a way that like the draft can publicly continue through the stock market. And like every round you're always reshaping your deck.
Yeah, because like I think that with like the truly we'll call it god draws or like
Code Marvelous is in the stream. Someone named Melanomi Ara is the first time chatter. Welcome to the stream.
Oh yeah. Incremental draft is yes, yeah, okay. So that's what we'll say is pry cards for winner from loser.
And I love. I mean, we can figure out like you have kind of catch-up mechanic built in, which may or may not be necessary even. But like, I love the idea of framing it as a stock market, like speeding up the play. Like everyone agrees the worst part about Roseville Draft is having to play Netrunner. So the more time we could spend in the draft phase, the better.
Exactly. And so and like. The only other thing that this also enables, and it's not the exact same thing, which is like stock market is like you as an individual are spending some resource or thing to accrue a card that is good, or cards that are going to make your
it could just be a tournament resource. Like everyone who enters the tournament gets 100
fuck bucks.
And they could spend those and they could give them to other players, and like they could just be distributed in all sorts. It's a free market, okay?
Yeah. That's a great part.
It's a free market, and there's a stock market, and that's that.
And then the only other thing that we want to include, which is like alliances and trades, which is like to supplement the call it, I guess, stock market, and also you can then integrate the winners, because it could be something like trade deals. And I want it to have the madness of a NBA draft, but in 5 minutes of like, what are you willing to put up from your deck or selection of cards to get blah, 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 blah. We want this to be hectic. We want there to be, think of how like fucked up trading typically is in Monopoly. I want that energy in this draft.
Something that kind of needs to go along with this for this to work. I feel like there needs to be very strong cards that are super Nero. So, like, you see a card in the draft, like in the first draft, that comes up that you're like, oh, God, this card is extremely powerful, but it does nothing for my deck. But I'm going to take it because I'm going to use it as leverage, right? You need leverage. I'm going to use that as leverage in the free market between rounds.
Oh, I just figured it out. I just figured that card. Investment subtype. So, here's how this works. You draft a card, and let's think about the concentration of bullets or power counters or what have you, right? And we'll call this extended mag. And what this is round 1, install this card for 2 credits, and it starts with 5 bullet counters. Right? Something like this. Round 2, it costs 0 to install and has 7 bullet counters. Round 3, it costs, you get 2 credits for installing it, you draw a card and get 9 bullet counters. Something like this. It's called an investment.
Yeah.
So it could, right, yeah. So like it could matter to your deck. You could be saving it from a trade perspective. Like, I think that this is good because it's just like, it's adding a little value to your binder fodder.
What's cool about that is, like, anytime you have any sort of market like this, it's great when there's just like volatility in the market. So when something is valued differently at different times. So that sort of mechanic will play right into it.
But yeah, I think that like these two are kind of together. Maybe is like versus and or I'll figure that out later. Is like I want there to be reasons to work together or not. And I think that this is mechanic 3 that we're already decided on. Is what did we call it? I have it listed out here. Like round conditions or hazards, which is something like for round 2, we as the officiators or whoever the officiators are, the stock market leaders or the president and whatever, blah, 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 they effectively present a category or a challenge for everyone to vote on in the draft, and it'll be something like this. Start of the round 2 of the whole draft experience, we say, all right, board meeting vote. Every instance of net damage is +1, or every operation is force your opponent to lose 2 credits when you play it. And to think of it as like a passive or effect that then changes the mechanics of certain cards for exactly that round. We want to keep it simple in terms of like what the modifiers are. Oh, that's what the word we used. Like round modifiers. Because then it can incentivize or force you to pivot for round 2 where you're like, damn, I'm operation heavy. But, yeah.
Market adjustments.
Market adjustments. Very good. Okay. Adjustments. Something like that is what we're thinking about, which is we want voting and we want people to gang up on each other. That's what like makes it fun, and you then can rig trades and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. Because think about it as like, let's say that the consensus is like +2 net damage, strengthen net damage for the round, or strengthen everyone's economy for the round. And let's say that net damage loses that, so economy is stronger. You could bluff and or just try and get any amount of quickly, any value net damage cards, because people are like operation, and then now you've pivoted mid-draft, not decimated your deck, but then you're going here. You're def making a board game? No, well, I hope not. We're really trying to keep it super, like, round specific.
Well, we'll have to, like, I don't know. These are all ideas we're throwing out, and we'll have to trim back on some of these concepts.
Totally, yeah.
But yeah, it could get complicated.
These are conversation starters. So
I was thinking about your alliances idea and wrapping that into another concept that back when we were at the whatever the name of that hotel is now near the Zenter.
Mr. Doubletree.
Yeah, the Doubletree. So we had this idea of shares, like buying shares in a corporation. I think that's probably too complicated for what already is like going to be a complicated thing. But there is the possibility of alliances here. Imagine like we're actually keeping score in the tournament. You know, just like number of wins, right? What if, in addition to like just getting tournament points for winning games, you also got tournament points at the end for having the largest stake in the winner of the tournament. So maybe the way that works is everyone at the start of the start of the tournament gets 20 shares of like themselves. So you have 20 tokens that just represent you. Yeah. And let's say I'm like, Andrew has been, talking a lot about how good he is at this tournament, whatever. He's good at drafting. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put 8 of my shares into Andrew. So like I'm gonna go give Andrew 8 of my shares. I'm investing in him. Those tokens don't actually do anything. They don't help you, but they represent my trust in you, that you're going to win. And at the end, if you are the winner of the tournament and I've invested the most in you, then I'm going to get like another 5 tournament points or whatever, which might mean that like I come in second place with the number of wins, but like I beat you because I invested in you.
There's something there, but because it's good because it's giving like an unofficial currency is like you were the master of the draft even though you didn't win. Like the component is there. I don't know what the implementation
and like it builds the idea of alliances because like if I might want to help you win your games because I'm invested in you, so I might give you some fuck bucks,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that for free market equal like voting for people or something along those lines. We'll revisit that a little bit. I think that there is something there because it's something like the hate draft, right? Like that's a drafting mechanic that a lot of people are like, don't do it, it's bad for your deck, blah 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 blah. So then how do we incentivize that and or correct that or formalize that into this draft? Because like hate picking is not good or fun, and it often is just like, but the spirit of it is correct. So if we can take that spirit and put it into a different mechanic, I think that goes. Alert! We are currently at stream capacity. Wait, what's the capacity?
I think we paid a little bit extra, so now we have 25. So don't worry about it, Ranji. We'll never hit 25.
Never again. Damn. Good alert though.
Thanks for being on top of that, Ranji.
Yeah, you're head of accounting for just that. Hate drafting. I hate drafting. See, there we go. Hey, what's up?
I am also curious with like if we're bringing in Roseville 1 and 2 cards, there's a lot of diverse mechanics in Roseville 1 and 2, and like Roseville 3 is gonna have a lot of diverse mechanics too. So I just worry about like merging all of that together. You know?
Well, so here's part of what I was thinking about with the whole keep remove, and actually let me put this up here. So
Milanomi says you could have the idea of like you buy options for cards.
Oh sure, yeah. There's something there that's to be explored. We'll figure that out. So
I like that idea.
For just talking about keeping and removing, I think that
Sure.
I don't think we need to iterate on this at this point in the stream, but or in the Roseville journey. But here's what I'm roughly thinking, and like I guess people gotta check me on this or whatnot. But so obviously we're gonna bring back and possibly slightly tweak, rework, whatever, balance, standardize, shrink down the existing Roseville cycles. So like what I'm thinking about is like we standardize on melt and wager of like these two concepts of runners can incentivize wagers, and melt is a function of cards that deteriorate on both. And actually, let me say those are the two mechanics that we stick with. Oh, third and bullets.
Oh, I was going to ask about bullets.
Yeah. Sorry. So like we do
and
bullets.
Bullets are going to need a little bit of balancing, I think.
Yeah, and that's fine. Bullets, wagers, and oh shit, what was the third? Oh, melt. And really, we can transpose both of these things. Yeah, exactly. King Neuro.
What was the thing we told Neuropanzer he's going to have to incorporate in the lore, and he kind of said no. There was something. I don't know if you're remembering this.
That's in the podcast, right? Or Slumscast episode.
Right.
It's somewhere in there.
I can't remember. There was something that were like, this is going to be a thing, and he just was like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So bullets, we'll make it work on both sides. Obviously, we'll have to supplement the corpse side on bullets, but I'll figure that out or propose some ideas, and then we'll talk about it. Wagers is very easy and straightforward to standardize on both sides, and melt, same thing. Really, with melt, it's to try and speed up the game, and like we can make powerful cards, but we just make them limited.
Yes, there's people who might not be aware, might not remember. Melt cards usually start out strong, and then they melt away their power over time.
Second category around keep remove is so obviously for the Roseville 2 draft, that was about 2/3 Roseville cards and 1/3 standard existing released Netrunner cards. We'll keep that ratio but increase and add the Roseville 3 cards. The ratio will still probably be the same overall. So what we're going to do is pretty much kind of like the reboot thing, which is we will take a subset of existing Netrunner cards and Rosevilleify them. We'll have a review episode just for that. So like as an example, Account Siphon, great, and we have Account Siphon 2. That's an example where there's already like a standard version and a Roseville version. Something like Corroder, what we could change that to is like add a paid ability to Corroder that's like use a virus or bullet counter from anywhere to break a sub or add a strength, blah, 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 blah. So like we'll want to bring back existing cards and mechanics, existing cards, but probably change their power level and mechanics to make it more in tune to Roseville so that the whole draft set or pool feels like Roseville Extreme is like really the TLDR of it. Does that make sense? Resonate with folks?
Can you just put into logistics, just put a note, I don't want to forget it, the idea of printing all the cards so that we don't need to sleeve anything.
That's already, yeah. So if something is going to be re-released or remastered or whatever fucking JPEG word we think about it, like let's say we redo Corroder and change it to Calculator or something Dungeons and Dragons related. Coagulation Calculator. Some punishing device.
Parentheses, no sleeves. So, yes, I get what you're saying. We're like, if we're going to reprint the standard cards we changed, and that makes sense. What I'm getting at here with the logistics is I think one of the things that slows down the draft and is annoying is the sleeves. So I'm thinking, what if we just
truly
printed all the cards and there's no sleeves? Like if people want to sleeve the cards after they build the decks, they
fine.
can do that, I guess.
Yeah.
But like the point is to keep things fast, and it's kind of expensive to print all the cards and whatnot, but we could crowdsource that, and it's what's more expensive is time. And so, like, if anything we could do to speed up the draft regarding shuffling and sleeves and any other bullshit, is going to pay off dividends.
Yeah, and that also will allow us for literal mechanics of rip one card in half.
Yeah, sure. And it also makes it portable. Like, if we could ultimately just give people a link where they can order the cards on whatever service and get them delivered to them for some amount of money, then they all have to do the shuffle them and play. So like then this becomes something that people could actually play on their own. So I just wanted to put that on there because I didn't want to forget. I think that could be important logistically. But in terms of the standard cards, I really like that idea. It does two things, like where we can have like some basic cards in the pool that are important to include, and we can also just like lightly tie them into our mechanics. We could have like little things where they tie into our mechanics.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I'm there. I'm tracking. I got you. We'll call
it'll be a custom, like, this is to answer Spag's question. It'll be a Roseville only draft. I think that's the vision. This is a set of cards that's independent. It's like it's starting to, it's not exactly Netrunner anymore, you know?
Or and so this gets to I want to have a good amount of discussion time for this because this is a big idea, and maybe there's some easy gotchas or modifications to the idea that people will make it work better, smoother, faster, whatever. So this is the big concept that we want to introduce, which is probably going to scare a shit ton of people, but I want to figure it out. And also, if it we start to work on it and it just doesn't work, we just get rid of it. It's not a problem, whatever. So I thought a lot about what are the exciting moments in Netrunner, and what is memorable, and what do people talk about and revisit and watch on Team Covenant and slow down and blah and blah and blah. And ultimately, it comes down to a few key turns in every Netrunner game. Obviously, there's building the board, and that makes sense, and what that usually comes down to is I'm presented with 2 situations or choices and or 2 to 4, something like, do I pursue the remote versus 2 central runs? Do I sacrifice my early game to get to the mid and late game? These bigger concepts, whatever. And I think, when we've made fun of shapers or build the board or build a bear type decks,
right?
It's just because it's just this do this to do that to do this to do this to do this and build and build and build and build and build and cut the shit. What everyone remembers is the glory run, is the Psy game, is you can do one thing this turn and you have three options to choose from. And so there is some concept here or weird implementation where we can condense this game down into 3 massive, larger, higher impact turns or phases on either side. So the idea here, and this is coming back to what I think Spag said, which was dungeon builder, or what was this? I named it, or I think I was actually pulling this from ONR, Digital Fortress. So the way that this works, but that all comes from the tension built over the. I know this is where this is masseussing the idea. I don't know. We almost want this to be 3 situations or 3 dungeons that you have to traverse and or set up, and that's kind of the idea. Startup, VC, IPO, interesting. Legacy dungeons, okay.
Is that the name of a game or what?
No, it's just like talking about like a standard or like harder version or blah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, when you've talked about this before, you're thinking like modifying the rules in Netrunner such that there's 3 big turns that each player has.
yeah.
And so like one way to actualize that would be, corporation starts. They have 9 clicks. They draw +3 cards. Like you basically condense like 3 turns into one.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like change some things. Like fast advance has to be just like disabled as a rule. But like then the idea is like the corporation sets up like their first turn is just like this giant big setup where they have their scoring remote or their trap or their big econ like ready to go right from the first turn, and then the runner does the same thing. They get like 3 turns condensed into 1 mega turn. I'm sure there's a lot of problems with it, and I think Gustavo has an interesting point. I mean, I think it's a fair point to say like if a game in Netrunner was reduced to just the glory run, you wouldn't have as nearly a memorable game. I think that's a risk, and I think we need to do R&D on this concept. And what I propose is in a future stream of ours, we play test it. We put together a couple decks we think could work under this model. We just BS some rules, we take it onto JNet, and we play and we see what happens.
Use this scales. Every core passively gains the next design. Like, so I've started to think about because an archetype is where this gets really weird or interesting is something like asset spam. Like we don't want to I think actually makes Shaper stuff much better if you compress out the early turns.
Yeah, there's a lot of balance considerations, and I mean
that's where I think we can fuck with numbers, because something like just to finish the thought real quick of asset spam being possible, right? So let's say that this game is only going to be, we'll call it 3 turns. Installing something like a pad campaign, which is a minimal investment from the corp, but also minimal gains, we would have to increase the gains and also make sure that the penalty of the runner not dealing with it or investigating a difficult choice, right? Because that's where I think that there's probably a pretty harsh degree of figuring out what seems correct or is actually going to make for an interesting decision, because that's really what we're trying to get to, is a more concise set of interesting decisions. That's really the goal. It's not necessarily this whole 3-turn and or 6-click versus 5-click or whatever
possibility. I mean, I think another just simpler possibility is lower the sizes of the decks initially. Like at the start of the tournament, your deck is 25 cards, and then every round it goes up by 5 cards. That's another way to maybe actualize it.
Yeah, Spags, this is something from Warlord CCG. I don't know what that is, but let's continue. They had boss decks that people could bring. Oh, so kind of. I was familiar with and played the World of Warcraft trading card game. I know I was shit posting on that earlier in the stream. But doing raids in WoW TGC was such a fun experience, which I think that whole NAPD multiplayer format was effectively trying to do. I don't want to do the whole 2-headed giant thing and whatever. I think that with a game like Netrunner, that makes it too messy and it makes balancing really difficult. I'm just trying, I think the goal is to try and get to the wow moments quicker, faster, and or increase the consistency of those.
We want to streamline things too. Running the Roseville draft as a tournament, it with the current way we've been doing it, it would be an all-day thing. It would be and maybe that's what we want ultimately. But there's also the idea of trying to make it just faster overall. That's another just at a high level, it's a structural thing. Do we want to conceptualize this as a tournament? People are going, it's an 8-hour thing. People should expect that this is what you're doing today. You're going to play Roseville Draft.
Right, and I agree that the 1v1 intensity and decisions, I think is very good. It's almost like when I think about it, imagine if there was some type of limiter like this, where this is where I think maybe restrictions increase the creativity, where it's no player can have more than 15 credits at a given time. And I understand that makes for weird things, but that's where explosive cards where you're going from like 0 to 8, like a huge fucking deal. Because like you're getting to your capacity and you've spent click doing it, and perhaps what you're doing is like you're like the early game is really important to me. So think of a card of like too big to fail. That's 0, you shoot up and you take a bad publicity. If you play that in the late game, there's almost no consequence for the corporation, because like if the runner isn't using that BP as much, then it doesn't matter. We want to really incentivize, like if you spend this early, like you're hoping that you can win very early, very quickly. And if you don't, you got fucked, and we're going to speed it up anyways, because like that's how you would win via bad publicity anyways. Is like, oh, you gave me a free credit every run, and then I managed to run 9 turns in a row? Yeah, wow, gee whiz, I turning wheeled 1, blah, 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 blah. Fucking shortcut it. We want to make it more consequential, and you fucked up in a decision perspective. Get over it, get to the next game, build it, dun, 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 dun. 3 credit Corp, Netrunner, Corp always 3 credits always. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's interesting. I like that idea.
Oh, adding another mulligan, Jeff says, could be a way to do it.
Some sort
or
of built-in acceleration,
in some way.
Lots of games,
Meta
free money
quarter,
cards.
first time stream chatter.
Hey, yeah. There's something there, and I think we need to, like, that's what I want to spend a couple of weeks in the woods, as it were, around that. But we really just want to expedite. We want to expedite the game and/or make the amount of turns that you're playing like really like fuck. I need to think about the time, because like that is what's sick in Netrunner, is the whole click restriction of. You're doing 4 things. Make some fucking decisions. Dun 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 dun. Whenever points are scored stolen, opponent can gain creds and/or creds equal to points.
Yeah, that's like a catch-up mechanic, I guess. So that'll like tend to make the game closer and probably more exciting.
Yeah, it's just like
it will accelerate things, I guess.
Because like the things that I hate are like endless BS asset spam, where it just takes so long. Like everyone gets it. You're investing in assets, which are things the runners can, from a money perspective, deal with. But if it's just this whole monotonous like fucking trying to start the lawnmower forever, that's where it's like,
Andrew, I think there's another solution to this. Using this problem as an example could be a good. So, and this could play into the whole concept of the draft and the free market and all that. Mm-hmm. Imagine that I'm going to be playing up against Cranked next round, and I've heard and I've seen that he has a nasty asset spam deck.
Yeah.
It might make sense for me to go like, somebody has the card that beats asset spam. Like somebody in the draft has it. We know that to be a fact, or it's in the stock market or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it might make sense for me to engineer a situation where I can get that card into my deck.
Yeah, that. I was to say, just to cut the conversation short in the chat on the
Frank says I feel personally attacked by this conversation.
Yeah, so the whole like super draft combo, that's not going away anywhere. That's not going away. But what we want to do is like think of it as like the early, mid, late, but it's condensed down to 3-5 turns, whatever, is some constriction, whatever, right? These combo decks are effectively making the selection like I'm not going to win early. Like, I'm going to win mid or late. Mm-hmm. And we just want to, I think really it's just where it's like late game. Late game in Netrunner feels so much more of like a time thing right now. And I don't know if that's just from a draft sense or a standard sense or historical 2016 Hellscape or like whatever sense. I think we want to avoid that because that's where the drafting experience gets so fucking stagnant. Aside from having to pick 7 million cards, blah, blah, blah. But that has nothing to do with the game itself. We just want to speed up and increase how many times you're making decisions, whether that be in the draft or the game itself. And so optimizing for that is like really the goal with Roseville.
To address what Gustavo says, like maybe drafts, like a different style of draft altogether. I think the thing we like the most about Roseville is my own perspective on this is the draft. Like the idea of like just like getting a pack of cards, picking the best card from there, like all that whole moment of just drafting and like seeing silly cards and your mind is just like exploring the possibility space. That's the most fun. and we want to just speed up all the other, like the logistics, shuffling, sleeving, and stuff like the games can take long. Like that's the stuff we want to try. Something else to throw in the logistics column that I thought about. Mm-hmm. We could consider just doing one-sided drafting. So like you go into the tournament as a runner of the corp and you stick with that. That'll like greatly cut down on the think about even just like the amount of time you spend deck building. You know, if you only have to deck build one deck, it halves the amount of time to do that. It becomes easier to support more people because you have fewer cards. There's a lot of advantages to one side drafting.
I mean, yeah, like it's polarizing, but it's interesting.
It's literally polarizing.
Yeah, no, yeah, but like.
No one has ever been excited about Pad Campaign. That's one of my favorite cards in the game. I love Pad Campaign.
All right, well, so let's see. Are interesting in the cards that have effects when you do things. So.
Yeah, Gustav, that's a good point. It makes it like a team thing automatically, sort of.
So also,
it could be like, runner versus corp.
And like, okay, think about this, and this is a good. Cat presents a great question or prompt here. So Brian, okay, so you're a Pad Campaign apologist, as it were, right? Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
So let's present you with a 2-card problem: Pad Campaign versus Wall to Wall. What card are you drafting?
Pad Campaign versus Wall to Wall.
Wall to Wall is the like offer you 4 choices unless it's the only thing in which you get 2 of the 4 choices. Which one are you drafting?
I think Wall to Wall is just better than Pad Campaign, assuming it's like.
Don't get too much into the don't get in the calc too. Which card are you drafting?
I probably take Pad Campaign, just the consistency of it, simplicity, like solid econ in a draft is good.
Damn, that's 100% the card I'm not taking out of that. Because Wall to Wall gives you flexibility based on what's happening in the game. Because like the thing is with drafting is like, obviously you're gonna automatically pull the cards that are like, duh, I'm trying to do net damage. But a card like Wall to Wall versus Pad Campaign, you're at least having choices in which, if there's a lot of situational things like with draft. You can be forced into these situations in which you have to make like awkward decisions, or like at least you want to have some agency or create some agency. So a card like Mayfly is an example. That in standard or any type of like established format is probably like 1 to 1 to 1 starts at 1 for 1 and 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. But in draft you're just like, you know what I mean?
Right?
Because you're able to go into these different things. And so that's where I think like trying to give agency to people, as much as it's not necessarily going to be, it could be OP or it could be not, and obviously it's Roseville, so it should be impactful. But like we want to make sure that we're speaking to that, I think, in cards, and that's where I think we're like it gets to Cat's point. Is like Pad Campaign is Pad Campaign is Pad Campaign is Pad Campaign. Wall to Wall. It could be Pad Campaign at the end of the day. But it could be some weird Pad Factory thing. Or it could be some weird, I got the ID that's Wayland that only allows me 1 remote, and now that card is fucking turbo gas. Or there could be some future Roseville 3 card we make, which is like an upgrade on a central server. If you only have 1 asset rezzed, all strength on this central server is increased by 5. But you're not allowed to install ice on other centrals or something like that. Like, it gives us a lot of choice. Let's take a pause and look at what the audience has said so far.
Yeah, so Robot was saying, if you have polarized player base, that opens up the stocks thing way more. You play runner, you literally invest in corpse for your corpse side tournament points, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's a good point. Like, it does open up that concept. Gustavo, if we're very married to pack drafting, would it be amenable to have your packs be face up and 0 wheels? Is that just to like speed things up or something, Gustavo? I'm trying to wrap my head around that idea.
Yeah, like, and it's funny because like when I read that, when I hear that, I don't even know what it means, but I'm like, ooh, that seems like it might ruffle some feathers. So like I want to know a little bit more. Promote man.
Well, yeah, to have your picks be face. I get that. They say packs. Just that, like, the cards you pick are public and there's no wheeling. I feel like that would slow things down because, like, I would be incentivized to look at what everyone else is picking, so I could, like, effectively hate draft other people.
Right, and we don't want to incentivize hate drafting. We want to incentivize pivoting. And I know that it could be very much read into like, well, those are one and the same. Blah, 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 blah. But like, I think like we want to get like we always want to have agency as much as it might just be that like weird thing of like, can you imagine an ID that was like that just gave you, it had one power counter on it, and you could pop it in any paid ability window, and it's just like you're giving the other person the business. And this one wow moment. That seems so like something like ETF, right? Everyone gets it, understands it. You're getting a credit every turn or close to every turn, blah 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 blah. But think about something like that, the terrible but not terrible, but terrible but not terrible Wayland ID that was like you start with $10 and a BP.
Right.
Which one of those is more interesting from a draft ID? I don't know. It depends on what like strategy you're going for, but actually in draft, like both of those are very viable because maybe your strategy is just to like get to the crux of it and lose.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess the Wayland ID, which like wasn't that popular, and Grendel, I think, right?
Yeah,
Grendel wasn't that popular or good in standard, but would probably be a lot better in draft because, like, if assuming the draft game is faster, that's how it's all designed.
Yeah.
That ID is better the faster the game is.
Sure.
And ETF is kind of worse the faster the game is.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, oh, you net $5, like cool hedge fund, like great.
Right. But still very good.
Says, pivoting is hard when you don't know that you've been hated out of a combo in a singleton format. True. Having your picks instead of breaking in combos, but yes, like. So, and I don't know if this helps or hurts or blah blah blah, but that's where like the modifiers could potentially like. I don't. The only thing that I'll say from we'll call it a vibe, and I hate using that terminology and thinking style, but I think it's applicable here, is I think that face up is not enough mystery. Like, yes, I understand the mechanics of when you're drafting. People are like, bruh, I'm only showing you. Guess what I got? Knob Korean Imp. Oh my god. Like, people talk. And or people figure out like, gee whiz, every time I haven't seen Mythic this entire round, right? They can figure out what people are doing, but there's still a little bit of mystery there. And I would hate to get rid of that, at least in the selection process. Whereas if we try to get to the modifier thing, where it's like, wow, Cortez in the first 2 rounds of this draft completely ignored economic advantages. Maybe his deck is super econ heavy and he doesn't, and that's his competitive advantage. And like, we don't want, plus also people talk and da. So I get it. It feels like drafting face up or not having hidden information there. My intuition is that it feels wrong, bad, blah. But
I think,
and again, you could be explaining it, right? Yeah, I don't know.
I think some of these concerns I'm not as worried about just because the way I'm imagining this whole event going is like a normal draft. You get all your cards at the start, you build the best deck you can, and like you play games, and that's it. Yeah. The way I'm viewing this is like the initial draft you do is incomplete. Like you could probably get DDoS, but like you're probably not gonna get any combo pieces for that just because like only half the cards are even in the draft at that point. So you're going to have an incomplete, janky deck at the start, right? And the whole process of the event is refining that deck to make it coherent and make it so you can win your final game. So, like, let's say you really need DDoS for the deck to work, and you draft all the pieces for DDoS, and you don't get it. Then, like, maybe you can find it later. So maybe after the first round, you could go find it. So maybe it's on the open stock market. Maybe you can figure out whose deck has it. You could just ask them to do a trade or to if you buy it from them using like whatever the free market, the $5. You just buy it from them, right? So like I think that's the process of the whole tournament is like this thing where like over time you're refining your deck and you're making it coherent. Another thought, this is somewhat related, somewhat not, with this whole idea is like it could be pretty fun if there's this concept of one-time use cards. So cards that are extremely powerful, but you can literally only use them once.
So, I personally really resonate with that, and to prove it, I wasn't going to toss this out now, but we're here. So, I'll only show a little bit of this, but effectively I've kind of planned for this in terms of every single runner ID so far. I have added a one power counter-esque ability to the ID in addition to its thing. So, like, to go to Leela. Leela before was like whenever an agenda is scored or stolen, return a unrest card to the corpse hand. But in this case, in the redo, it's like a different passive. Whenever an agenda is scored, add one face down installed card to HQ or derez an installed card. And like what I did with actually most of these is I did a once per turn, spend this power counter, the first res, the blah. There's the like really fuck you powerful ability that you're doing once. But I think, Brian, you take it to the next level, which is like you do this thing once in the draft.
Yeah, like, I mean, one way to do that would be like, once you play the card, the act of playing the card, you have to sign it. Or like you have to give it to your opponent, and they don't put it in their deck. They just put it to the side, and then now that's something they can sell on the market.
Oh, an artifact or something like that.
Yeah, so like I'm playing this card. It's gonna totally fuck you up, right? Because it's super strong. Maybe they have a lot of randomness in them, so they're not overly powerful. Whatever, but they are strong cards. And now, like, you have to give that to your opponent, and now that player can either sell that card, or if it's a one-sided draft, they would have this asset, right? It becomes a literal asset that they can't use, but they can leverage in the market.
I agree. So, Asian, let's. Magic card. Draft this card face up. Instead of drafting a card from a booster, you may draft each card in that booster pack one at a time. If you do. Okay. It's weird because, like, I was like, so I understand what that card's trying to do, and, like, I was trying to think about that more of the, like, trade mechanics and, or, like, the drafting component of, like, trades, blah, blah, blah. Just because, like, and I know a couple of people have said it in the chat tonight, but also just, like, you know, in Doubletree and all that kind of shit of, what's that Sushi Go card? Oh, Chopsticks.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other thing that we could...
There's like a couple of different avenues to do this thing where it's like you play this card for like a draft effect reason that then benefits your later rounds in the draft, that like you kind of sack your first run, as it were, to use the... If y'all are like auto battler people, that's where like you intentionally do not pick a unit round one, which is very like wackadoodle, and you're just going for refreshes or choice. Like effectively you're saying like I'm going to lose my first game. I think that kind of stuff could be cool because you're really trying to win the draft or the tournament, as it were. And you've just like made the decision like, oh, fuck this noise. And that's what also is feel good in these games that are shorter or more consequential or blah, 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 blah. Because it's not like, oh, I gotta play 50 turns of I have Crypsis and it fucking blows and it's not changing and blah. Like, the thing we really want is a dynamic draft experience where your decks are changing, whether that be because you get better bullets, whether that be because there are round modifiers that are introducing different blah, 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 whether that be like, fuck, I could still mind game win this draft by selling my chess pieces to another person and investing in them. I think that there's something there. Jeff is a very smart person, so I want to take some time to read this. Having some cards that are mostly in between round currencies, like you get to draft an extra round if you include this in your deck, or like rip one thing from the stock market if you played this card, rip two if you won the round or something like that. Could be very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we will have to consider at some point. Like, I think you could put this whole. I mean, in the rules section, just add Sushi Go mechanics ? And it encompasses the idea. The idea being like, should we add mechanics that mess with the draft itself? And I don't know. I mean, I could see benefits to that, but also it is like extra complexity to add on.
Yeah.
So I'm not in love with the idea, to be honest, just because I feel like other games have done that and it adds complexity.
Yeah, I think where we split the diff or make it work or whatever is somehow it's tied to the free market. The thing I don't like about the chopsticks thing for Roseville is like, oh, psych, you made this pick and now it's not yours. Dun dun dun. But there's some element to the market that.
Jeff's right on board with you with that. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just where it's like, because again, Roseville is about the creativity and the intensity, and I got this wacky idea, and what if? It's so feel bad if someone was just like, nah. But what feels sick is you won't. You're not going to get 3 picks round 2. What the fuck are you talking? Oh my god. And then you get 3 picks and you're like, now I have DDoS EMP device. If you don't have 3 fucking ice, you're not getting in. Dun 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 dun. That's what feels better there. What's a Crypto Bros Roseville card? Net jogging. Baby, wake the fuck up. The entire criminal faction is going to be crypto for runners. We'll get into the remix of cards and all that stuff. Which
we only have a few minutes remaining in the
I was gonna say we can. So here's a quick like TLDR that I'm thinking about is I would like this amount of time. I would like 3. I think that the next Roseville episode, regardless of streams in between, which can and will happen that are just Netrunner, the next Roseville stream should be in 3 weeks, in which we review, and this will be like a legitimate spreadsheet, Google slide deck, of the fixed and or standardized Roseville 1 and 2 cards in context to the Dungeons and Deadlines theming and numbers and all of that shit. Does that sound... And we start there. Because that's before getting into new mechanics, new cards, blah, blah, blah. That's more of like sanitizing the current Roseville pool. Does that sound like an outlandish timeline goal?
I think it makes more sense to start, like, so...
Or do you want to start with getting into spreadsheet Roseville 3?
Well, I guess I just want to... Maybe I misunderstand you. But I'm thinking we should start with the new stuff we're going to make. Because in terms of sanitizing and adapting the older stuff, it's going to have to be... It needs, like, that as a baseline to adapt to.
Gotcha. Okay. So then we'll do this.
Spreadsheet.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You fucking older folks got it. So then...
Calm down, everyone. Calm down.
So, 3 weeks from now, Roseville 3, Data Pack 1, Dungeons and Deadlines. We already have the hard work here. We'll make 2 cards for each faction. We'll still need to figure out what neutral runner is, but we can do that in the weeks leading up to it.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, we could start there. It seems like we're going to have to settle on some of these ideas. Like, we don't have to settle on it for that stream, but I think shortly after that, we're going to...
Oh, exactly. This is just to whet the appetite and start the creative brains of, like, what insane cards that we make, 2 apiece, and we could try and time together, like, the poignant example I always think of is, like, NBN, Little Busto, and Wagers. Like, make an agenda, Little Busto's, make an upgrade admin, Little Busto. That should be Data Pack 1, is, like, what is the skeleton? What is the suit? What is the HR? What is the legal? What is a robot? What is a trap?
I see.
What is an admin? What is a marketing?
These themes here. Focus on these themes.
Yeah, exactly. This won't be ready for... Oh, no, definitely not. No, we're shooting for Worlds. And or, I think, Brian, what did you and I scope here? We were like, August done, September play tested, October in the wild.
Oh, something we want to try and do. I don't know how realistic this is, but if we could somehow playtest this on Tabletop Simulator in some form, that would be excellent, but we would need help with that.
I feel like we're pretty close, at least with like. So obviously, with the April Fool's thing, we're able to get it up on Netrunner DB. With Nandeck, we're able to get the image files complete, export it. Tabletop Simulator is like the last part. Like, I think we're pretty close. Are we doing OTG? I am pretty sure I can make it. I know I've told Cranked in crew that I'm in plural that I'm
Is that
good.
like last year? I feel like it was later last year.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
I think it was August of September, but I'm a pretty solid for OTG, but technically I need to double make sure, but I'm like pretty positive. And then I'm a really fucking try. Brian, I'm not sure where you're at on that, but at least in terms of OTG, Roseville 3 will not be ready, and that's not the goal. And we're not trying to.
Yeah. I don't think we could do that in time. We're just.
I don't want to. Like, frankly, I want to use.
I mean, it would be great. It would be fun to play it there. It'd be like the perfect. It sucks to miss it, but
yeah,
I think it's too rushed.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible right now. But we'll. Sorry, Roseville 3 will not be there, but maybe a slightly modified Roseville 2 or that kind of stuff. Maybe, but yeah, the goal is far more of like autumn to have Roseville 3 play testable either IRL or Tabletop Simulator.
I think like one of the goals with this should be that it's much easier for people to play. So like people can print out their own version of it and. So, and like we could even play it on not JNet, but we could play it on Tabletop Simulator. Stuff like that would be great.
Yeah, and so that's the timeline. We don't want to rush this thing because that's what I will say is the difference. And what maybe we'll break it down with this. We'll spend the last like 5 minutes here, and I think it's to reflect on. What we've done with Roseville 1 and 2, and obviously the wonderful Slumscast, commenting on this whole thing, like, it really hits home how much of a community thing this is and what makes it special. And, like, yeah, it's like, as much as it is insane and goofy and blood still work and whatnot, but, like, just us as a stream and group and community and whatever, we've managed to do this since what? We started Roseville 1 in 2018 as a result of
Sounds right.
Worlds and all World. That, or maybe like early 2019, but it's just like it's this really cool thing, and so I want to take the time and really do it right, and it will be as shitposty as ever, and power heavy as ever, and why the fuck is a skeleton pushing through the firewall and all this kind of stuff. But I think I want to add just a little bit more craftsmanship, because like I look at Roseville 2. And just taking the time to do the art and get it printed and update some cards and theming and blah, like, damn, that just clicked with people, like, so quickly and immensely that I was like, yeah, like, we gotta, again, the 3-step model, which Brian, the intern, very excellently displayed for us, good, better, best. It's time to do the best, and that will take a little bit more, but I think that we will truly create a amazing draft product, not to use too many business terms, but a draft experience
we're
give a shit
suit
about.
Tonight.
Yeah, right. So,
no, I think you summarized. My feeling is like, I want to keep it janky as ever, but I do want it to make more sense as like as a thing to do. It's a weird balance of like wanting it to be better and more refined, but also like what makes it good is the fact that it's not. So it's like navigating that balance.
And like, you know, not to get into DJ drama shit, but if Nisei is gonna keep fucking stealing our designs, we may as well give him better designs. Fuckers. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and so like, you know, that's the deal. It's a true passion project, and let's not rush it. Let's do some.
Can you export the spreadsheet for folks into Stream Chat?
Oh yeah. Oh here. So I made this actually as just like the current. Here's everything. You can go grab it, do whatever. It doesn't matter. This is like a copy of a copy of a copy. So even if there's some fucking butthole trolls.
DTC. Those are the printer sites, I assume.
Yeah, I want to help you guys get the. Yeah. Oh please. And what's so weird about when we printed it last time is the files look correct, and even they had said like it looks correct, but there just was clearly a little bit of shortage.
Yeah. They did get fucked up, huh?
Yeah, because it's weird from a NAND deck perspective, and we'll talk later out of stream about this.
Send them the notepad text. Just copy the notepad text and put it in the stream chat.
Oh, sure. Well, I don't know. I can do better than this. I already added the spreadsheet.
Okay,
we'll
just
do
add a tab.
This, and then add a tab, and we'll just do notes. But then also it's like here. Twitch is not gonna let me do that. But Bleed. I don't know. It's weird because NANDEC is like the game developer standard, and all of the math is correct from like a pixel count and all that kind of shit. So I don't know what's going on there, but we'll deal with card operations and logistics and mechanics like way later.
And if anyone wants to volunteer to be like the tabletop simulator person, that would be the thing we could use a lot of help with, because I think that will accelerate us. Like if we could do some initial playtesting on tabletop simulator, we could like get some of the jank, like the bad jank, out of the way before we print it all.
Oh, I don't know who fucking added that, but I know who added that. Boop.
Added what?
Someone just put a skeleton meme in the
Wait, people have write access to this?
Oh yeah, this is just Hangout Zone. It's not a problem. It's fine. It's not the master stuff. Trust me. This is all different. Yeah. No, I'm not giving those keys to the city. But yeah, cool. So let's do this. Brian, are you good for next week? Because I would really like to do just a pure crack cocaine Netrunner stream, corp only, next week if you're available.
Yeah, that morning I'm getting my roof demossed and my gutters worked on. Will that conflict with this at all?
It might. We might have to deviate. We might have to deviate.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, it might be. We might have to make a corp gutter theme.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to lock us in yet.
The corporate calendar right now.
Yeah. Cool, friends. Sick. All right, so we'll be next week for Netrunner. We'll see what happens with the week after, and then the week after that, Data Pack 1. / I might have some quick quiz, ask the audience, what do we think about this card versus this card versus which of these 5 cards would you take from like sets of ONR, ANR, blah, blah, blah versus this, just so I can start to have some stuff going on in the background of trying to standardize and or revitalize ANR, ONR cards to get it into Roseville. A subtype, please. In all caps. Brian, at the top of the hour, take us away. You better vote for Roseville, Marvin the Martian.